Welcome to Box Office Buddies. I'm Branden Dillard, and this is a podcast where we have a new friend on week after week talking about movie after movie, and we dive into their all-time or one of their all-time favorite movies. We'll dive into it, we'll unpack it, we'll review it, we'll laugh about it, we'll recommend it, do all the things. Today is... Man, I just realized I've been wearing the same outfit for all three of these episodes. So the cat's out the bag, man. Dang it. But today we have Mason on, and Mason, he does a lot of work for the podcast. And so everything you're seeing and hearing is a courtesy of him. And so if you see him around, tell him thank you if you enjoy his work. But I'll let Mason introduce Mason. Mason, who are you? What do you do? What it is.
I'm Mason. I like Branden said, I'm the videographer and editor for this podcast that we have recently started.
Yeah.
Graduated from OU a couple years ago, and now I'm currently a videographer and photographer for Gray's Golf up in Edmond. It's been a year and a half since I worked with them, and it's been nothing but a blessing, and I'm enjoying it. Doesn't even feel like work, but I love it. And I recently just got back from a trip out in Phoenix. My days are blending together, but I'm here, and yeah. So yeah.
You golf?
Absolutely not.
You mentioned you graduated from OU, but you didn't start at OU, did you? Where'd you start your college journey?
I started at UCO, and once COVID hit, I was planning on transferring to do architecture at OU, but I think it was a class at UCO that made me think twice about that because I realized there was a lot of numbers behind it.
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So once I got to OU, transferred and majored and graduated with a film and media.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember when we were kids, your goal was to be an architect, and now you're doing videography, photography, all content things. Yep. What do you see any correlation at all between those two jobs, or what? I mean, you obviously aren't doing that. So what does it look like for you to? I don't know. You're still creating things, in a way.
I think it's more being a perfectionist. Is like it's the little things, and I always go back after finishing a project now, and I'm always like, I could have done that better, or had a different approach to it. But it's always me trying to be a perfectionist.
Yeah. What do you do any freelance on the side, or just?
Oh yeah, I always on the go.
Yeah,
I've done a lot of other sports. Outside of like golf, I've tried with Devin. I've actually tried doing like workout content.
Yeah,
it's been an interesting thing, but it's always cool for me to have my own interpretation or approach to a certain project. But yeah, I do a lot of. I've done weddings.
Yeah,
couples, of course. Think I enjoy sports the most, if any.
Yeah. What's your favorite sport to shoot?
Football. I like football. One I didn't expect to like was actually tennis.
Yeah.
I remember us doing our pickleball.
Yeah. Man. I still watch it. I still watch it. And kind of last question on this. Two questions. What's some upcoming projects or shoots that you're working on that you're looking forward to?
At work, I think it was just coming up off the Phoenix trip, and that was kind of like they trusted me the most. Not the most, but that was kind of like my first solo trip. It was kind of like that I'm proving myself to the company type of deal. So it was kind of like a big step that I was thinking about a lot. Because they were calling me the guy at this point.
Yeah.
And the main video guy. And that was a good one. Can't think of any off the top of my head. except this one. We're gearing up to release this one.
Yeah.
It's a big one, and appreciate you for trusting me with this one.
Of course. And then how can people find you and your work, and if they want to book you?
You can just find me on Insta. You can my personal, where I actually post a lot of my content more recently. It's just Mason Moore. And then my media account is M2 Media. And I'm really thinking about changing that title, but we'll think about it later on down the line.
Well, cool, man. Well, let's hop into this movie, which is from our childhood.
Yeah.
And had some familiar faces in it that I was not expecting to see again. May he rest in peace. You know who I'm talking about.
RP to the guys.
Man. But today we are talking about one of Shia LaBeouf's best movies. Not talking about Holes though. And we are talking about Transformers. And there's more than meets the eye to this movie. So if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. But here is a premise overview of what it is. The fate of humanity is at stake when two races of robots, the good Autobots and the villainous Decepticons, bring their war to Earth. The robots have the ability to change into different mechanical objects as they seek the key to ultimate power. But only Sam Witwicky can save the world from total destruction. So, obvious question, I bet, but like, when did you first discover this movie? And man, how'd you get hooked? Man, why is this your favorite?
It was my dad. Growing up, my dad was a big Transformers guy.
Yeah.
He would always talk about it, and I was like, let me see what this is talking about.
Yeah.
So we ended up seeing the movie in theaters back in 2007. Yeah. And then I ended up renting the game from, I think at the time the place was called like Randy's M&M's or Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
One of those type of rental places. And I pretty much fell in love with the series ever since.
Yeah. How many times do you think you have seen, not even just the first one, but like all Transformers? Like, how many times have you sat down and watched a Transformers movie?
Considering that I have the little four movie collection, it's pretty countless. I can't even give it a number, but to the point where I'm quoting the movie.
I remember. I think I was honestly probably with Uncle Ray when we went to go see Transformers back in 2007, and I remember Shia LaBeouf. I remember Megan Fox. I remember Optimus, Bumblebee. I didn't, at the time, like Anthony Anderson. And Bernie Mac. Uncle Bernie. Man, and it was good. It was good seeing them. But yeah, I mean, I think every kid like loved Transformers. Like, I don't think anyone 100%. Around that time like walked in and had anything negative to say. It was like, oh yeah, this is it. I
was behind Transformers. I ended up getting the Barricade, the police car action figure.
Yeah.
Had the Optimus.
Yeah.
It was like a big version of the action figure.
Yeah. Everybody wanted a Transformer. I remember driving just with my mom around, and I was thinking like, man, if only this car was a Transformer, like get out of this traffic in no time.
Made me fall in love with the Camaro.
Yeah, man. Man, so I think we can both agree that Transformers is iconic. But I don't know if it's aged well. I think some of the more recent stuff hasn't been as great. So how would you say Transformers ranks among sagas? You know, you got the Fast and Furious saga. You got Twilight.
Right there. I would take it above the Fast and Furious series. Mm-hmm. My problem with the Fast and Furious series is I just feel like they milked it.
Yeah.
They should have let it really die down after Paul Walker passed away.
Yeah, he dies, y'all die.
Yes,
yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Perfect, yeah.
A lot of people didn't like the third or fourth Transformers movie.
Because Shia only did the first two, right?
He did first three.
But Megan Fox didn't come back for the third one.
Yeah, okay. He stopped after Dark of the Moon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then the last night was Mark Wahlberg. And that's when things took a turn, to say the least. But that's what everyone says, that after Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, they just quit watching.
Yeah. Do you know why Shia LaBeouf stopped, or was there
I really don't know. I really don't know. But I know why Megan ended up stopping. She had a disagreement with, I think, Michael Bay.
Okay.
So he kind of they both went their separate ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about Megan Fox a little bit. Got a question for you. Are you making the homie walk for Michaela? You kicking the homie
100%.
You kicking the homie
Get out the car. It's not even up for a question. What are we doing?
Oh man. And that was a good scene. What was your favorite scene of the movie though, and why?
Probably when all the Autobots started arriving from the sky. Like she was like, "Are you the Tooth Fairy?"
Yeah.
And they all met Sam for the first time. Something, because I forgot the composer, the guy who did the music. Yeah. His name is like Steve. I forgot. Yeah. But the music, I'm a big fan of the music in that film. It's no Hans.
It's no Hans. But one of my reactions was, man, really good music. I think both composer wise and also even like that scene with Michaela, Bumblebee's like messing with the radio. Yeah. Like all those songs, The Baby Come Back, like all those songs were like, yeah, no, this is good. And then Linkin Park to end it. Yeah.
That's what Michael Bay was known for.
Yeah. Man, that's my favorite scene. Well, first going back to that, like I forgot all the Autobots' names, but I do remember Jazz. Jazz when he arrived on the scene.
Jazz is a fan favorite.
Yeah. Man, the scene, I think the funniest scene that brought back the most memories was when Maggie, that's the blonde girl's name, right? Maggie pulled up to what's
I forgot his name. I forgot their names in the movie.
Yeah, she pulled up and they were doing that. They were playing that game and whatnot. And then she's like, "Hey, like I got something I want you to crack. We could get arrested, like FBI, like all this stuff." And he's like, "All right, let me have it." And then when they pull up,
it kind of reminded me of Andre and his grandma from Victoria.
Yeah. Andre. Oh man, that was fun. And then they tackled his cousin into the See, and that's the thing I want to talk about is they don't make movies like this anymore
at all.
And I don't know why. Like it is so serious, but it's so funny. Like you be in the middle of like, they were in Qatar fighting against a Decepticon. And I forgot to put down his name. The black soldier, he's in Fast Furious as well. Tyrese, yeah. And he's shooting them. And Sam, not Sam. Who's the main soldier?
I know what you're talking about. I was losing
he was looking for his phone. He's like, left cheek. You got 10 back pockets.
That's what you want. Pocket. With pocket. My back pocket. Left cheek.
And I'm like, these dudes are about to die, but like they're cracking jokes, and like I think that is something that is really, really done well. So that's like when the FBI break in, that's like my like favorite funny scene. I think favorite kind of serious scene. Man, I don't know. It's just, man, it's all good. I think I just think I always remember Optimus Prime and just like his speeches.
Oh yeah,
like
7-year-old me was doing push-ups in the movie theater.
I was saying, and it's like the last scene where you see the main soldier get to go home to his daughter.
Yeah,
You get to see Sam and Michaela like on Bumblebee, and you get to see Optimus Prime like looking up to the sky. Linkin Park's in the background, and it's just like, oh yeah.
while we're kind of on the Linkin Park
Yeah.
Optimus, there was always this debate of who had the better speeches.
Oh, you know that's a question. Who gave the best motivating speeches, Prime or Captain America? Come on, man.
Prime. It's not even close.
Really?
100%.
You listen, I'm gonna be. I think. Here's the thing: when Captain America did what he did in the last Avengers, when he was like Avengers Assemble, like got the hammer and all that, like I think that put him over. Like, I think that was a ring. Like that was like a 6th ring moment. I think of it like Braun and MJ. I really do. I really do. And I got to give it to Captain America.
Next question.
But yeah, let's unpack characters for a bit. Let's start with Sam. What are some things you feel like they did really well with Shia LaBeouf and just who he is as a character?
I think his character pretty much shaped how you would react in that situation. It was like
Ladies Man 217.
if you're in his shoes, that was the perfect like young teenage boy, you know. In that moment, I mean, from the dad saying, "Oh, we're not gonna get you no Porsche. you go struggle like I did. Show you, keep your head level.
Yeah,
it's all about upbringing.
Yeah,
and then he kind of, as the movie progressed, he ended up showing like how independent he can be. Yeah, and he didn't have to rely on anybody. And he just kind of turned into a young man.
Yeah.
As much as the franchise kept progressing also.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Shia LaBeouf is just great. Like that's the guy. He has so many funny moments. I think when his friend Miles, like stupid scene, like when they get to the lake, he's like, "Don't do anything weird." And Miles starts climbing up in the tree. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Like, so what are y'all doing here? He's like, "Oh, we just climbing this tree."
Yeah. And they're like, "You try for the football team?" He's like, nah, I was doing something else. Sam is great. And I think what this movie does well is kind of jumping ahead to kind of plot, but you know, it's his grandfather, you know, or was it his great grandfather? Great grandfather. And so it wasn't like luck that Sam was chosen. It was like, no, like I'm connected to this. And like I have a relationship with the Transformers.
It's destined.
Yeah. And man, I thought that was cool. I thought his relationship with Bumblebee was really cool. So yeah, I think like you said, Sam is the perfect just like teenager of like, hey, I'm just trying to make some money. I'm trying to sell this on eBay, Ladies Man 217.
Sell anything and everything.
Yes. Trying to just get with this girl who's out of my league. And man, it was just good.
All been there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Michaela. What do you think about just her character and kind of, because honestly, there was a point in the movie where I was like, I don't think we need Michaela in here. Like, I think if they would have, if they would have had Miles, my homie Miles, in the role of Michaela, I thought that'd be funnier. But yeah, what role do you think she served? Why do you think she needed to be in it?
I'm trying to like picture this movie without her.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have done its justice.
Well, let me ask you this. I haven't seen them in a while, but in the third movie, is there a new girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
New girl. It was weird how they like brought her in, but they had no choice.
Yeah.
But dang, Michaela's character. I mean, of course, you got like the gaze aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because leave me in that situation, I would have acted the same way.
Yeah.
Miles would have had to get ditched.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really don't see how this movie could have been without her. I mean, she's like kind of a focal point and kind of Sam trying to impress the girl in the.
Yeah.
I can't. Do you know any other films she had around that time? Was that like her breakout film?
I don't think it was. I think she had some work earlier.
Because 7-year-old me wasn't really.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, her breakout role was as Michaela Baines in blockbuster action film Transformers, which she reprised in its sequel, Revenge of the Fallen, in 2009.
Yeah. Yeah, she played a very. I don't see how you saw. Maybe she isn't needed.
I think she just has the Zendaya effect. I think it's time to start asking those questions. Is she a good actress, or is she?
You gotta start having them conversations.
I hope Zendaya ends up watching this podcast. But no, man, I thought she was like. I think it helped Sam grow.
Yeah.
And it would have been weird seeing Sam do that all by himself.
Yeah.
She
helped Bumblebee.
Yeah.
On a tow truck.
She said, "I'll drive you, shoot." And so that was cool.
She had a little Grand Theft Auto father.
Yeah.
So she had a little familiar with cars.
Yeah. And that was cool. Seeing how she contributed.
Yeah.
She wasn't just eye candy, but she like was a part of it.
Now I want you to throw Miles in that and see if he would have been useful.
He just would have been funny.
He would have been Swiss cheese.
I don't know if you caught this line, but I put it in my notes. When after he takes her home, he's talking to her, dropping her off. He tells her, "Hey, there's more than meets the eye with you." And I was like, "Whoa, that's Transformers." I was like, "Hey," and then Optimus said it at the end, and so I thought that was cool. Man, let's talk about. Let's talk about just the soldiers as a whole, and then we'll hop into the Autobots and the Decepticons. At one point in the movie, I felt like there were too many characters. I felt like you got this with Sam and Michaela, you got this with the soldiers, right, and you got this with Maggie, and then eventually you get Anthony Anderson in there as well. And I was like, man, like there's a lot happening. What role do you feel like the soldiers played in this movie? How do you think they kind of brought it to life? And at first, I thought they were gonna die. Like straight up, I was like, "Geez, like they're about to like kill these guys off in the first 5 minutes."
They kind of like the one that discover like that the Transformers are here.
Yeah,
like they encountered them first.
Yeah,
before in present time before. Yeah. Great grandpa did.
Yeah.
I'm at the counter what you just said.
Yeah.
I feel like there was each character group.
Yeah.
But then you had Sector 7 bring them all together.
Yeah.
And then in that moment you kind of realize everybody's role. You had the general secretary guy.
Yeah.
And other people in the military fight off the robot that was an event that was trying to break into the room.
Yeah.
Sam was kind of the key to it all. Why are the Autobots, Decepticons here? What other group?
Maggie.
Maggie was kind of
the analysts, the hackers.
She was also the puzzle to this isn't any other human doing this.
Yeah.
This is like some alien extraterrestrial stuff going on, and y'all need to figure this out before, because this isn't any human activity.
And you're right. Everyone was fighting the same thing, but like they were all missing pieces of like, we know this, but we don't know this. Yeah. And then it's like, all right, let's actually work together and figure this out. And then you even see in the last like fight scene, like they all were like doing kind of their separate things. Man, let's talk about the Autobots. First off, man, which one's your favorite? And man, first, who's your favorite Autobot?
Optimus.
Optimus, not Jazz.
Not Jazz.
Man, what do you like about Optimus?
I couldn't, build a relationship with Jazz. So, due to unforeseen circumstances, I love Optimus. Optimus was just always that guy.
Yeah.
He just seemed like he took care of his people.
Yeah.
He always looked out, and he always had the best interest at heart.
Yeah.
No matter if it cost him his life, like it did in pretty much every movie. It seemed like he died.
Yeah.
He was just the leader. He always took initiative and always found a way and made the best decision, not just for the Autobots, but for humanity. Yeah.
Man, is there a character that, whether it's Optimus, Sam, Bernie Mac, man, what character do you kind of, resonate with most or like identify with?
It would either have to be Sam or Tyrese. I think that's how I would have acted in that situation by far. Yeah. Because Tyrese was like the realistic. Yeah. He was like, so we're about to do what?
Man, that's good. I think, what character? I would say probably Sam as well. Like he's just so normal, and he's just trying to. I think he believes that he can do more, and he believes that, like his great grandfather, like he can make a discovery or he can give something to society. And it's really cool to see him take initiative and take charge and eventually, be the one who beats Megatron by, putting the cube. Yeah. And so, man, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the plot a little bit, but also, man, are there any critiques you have of like how the movie was done? Would you do anything differently? Just looking back on it about 22 years ago. Oh, no, sorry, 18 years ago.
Not off the top of my head. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. It's far from that. Yeah. I wish the Autobots had cooler Autobots. I mean, because Decepticons always have over the top. It's like, it's clear that they're gonna win here, yeah. But they never end up winning. Yeah. Really. Really, I think, because I was a fan of Optimus, Ironhide, Bumblebee, Jazz, of course. Yeah. Ratchet was like that ambulance guy, but it wasn't really over the top how the Decepticons had it. Yeah, Decepticons, you had jets, helicopters. Yeah. You had Barricade, the police car. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you. It seemed like Megatron was a shapeshifter. But yeah, I would just say that they could have had better vehicles.
Yeah, yeah. And they could have. Like, I don't know why Optimus settled for a semi pickup, but it fits them. One thing that I think my biggest critique with the movie, and maybe Michael Bay in general, is the fight scenes. I feel like sometimes in the fight scenes, it's just hard to tell what's happening. Of like, everyone kind of all looks the same.
That's Michael Bay.
That's Michael Bay. And it's like, it's just a big kind of machine, just going at it. And it just feels like, I don't even know what's happening right now.
We watching, what is it, Man of Steel?
Yeah, that's what I felt like when I was watching, when I was like, oh, this feels like Man of Steel. But yeah, it just feels kind of over the top. And I know that's who he is. And so that was my biggest beef with the movie, was just the fight scenes. Man, so, and what as you watch this again, 24, almost 25 years old, man, what emotions, memories come up as you it's your childhood?
It's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
It takes me back to a certain moment every time I watch it. And I think the '08 Olympics were going on at the time.
Yeah.
And I think that was the time I rented the game.
Yeah.
I think I bought my first action figure. My first action figure might have actually been from this movie. It's just a lot of childhood memories tied into anytime I see the movie. I always quote the movie. It kind of gets the same treatment as just randomly quoting a movie throughout.
Yeah.
Regular conversation with the guys.
What's your line?
It's always left cheek. Left cheek.
Left cheek, left cheek.
Yep. Yeah, or anything related to Anthony.
I remember doing that as kids. I remember that vividly.
I think the moment I quote the most from him is when he was in the interrogation room talking about this is what they about to do. He said, "You don't eat the food, you're guilty." So he said, "Ari ate it," and then they dropped the file, and then he went off. Criminal.
Oh man. Yeah, I thought it was a funny kind of cool scene where they at the end, it's kind of towards the end where the department or whatever, they realize that, hey, we're gonna need Maggie. And he's like, "You're my advisor," and then they're like, "Hey, me too." He's like, she's like, "He's my advisor." And so, man,
Guess you're coming with.
yeah. And then when him and Tyrese were talking about Wolverine and Freddy Krueger,
He said, "That's 3 claws. That's like Wolverine."
Oh man, man, that's good. Yeah, I think memories, man, emotions, man, it really is just like it's the little things. Like when Sam said, "It's more than meets the eye" to Michaela, I was like, "Oh man, that's Transformers line." And then the music, Autobots rolled out, things like that. Honestly, forgot that Bumblebee changed cars. Because I was honestly, I was like, wasn't he a yellow Camaro? And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm not remembering it right. But then he pulls up, and then obviously, like anytime Prime has a speech or the music's playing, it's like, oh man, this is my childhood. Yeah. And so, did you ever watch any of the animated stuff growing up?
No, I did not. My dad would always just tell me about it.
Yeah.
And that's where the More Than Meets the Eye came from.
Yeah.
Because it was in the theme song.
Yeah.
But I think my dad even had it on DVD. That's how much of a fan he was.
Yeah.
But I never personally watched the animated series from like the 90s and 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I may have caught some reruns, but it definitely wasn't what I was watching a lot of. Watching a lot of Young Justice, a lot of Batman Beyond.
I'm listening.
A lot of Justice League, yeah. And so you putting the Transformers up against Young Justice? You putting them up against any other superpower team?
No shot.
They can barely handle the Decepticons
at all. I don't think. Let me think. Is there any? What would be an actual marquee matchup? I'm trying to think in what world they're not getting destroyed.
Probably Fast and Furious.
They'll come up with something. Actually, I think they were actually doing like a
Bro, you've been playing.
Fast and Furious
Are you serious?
Transformers movie. I actually think that was in a conversation
Wow.
later down the line. No,
No.
at all. No,
No.
they're getting destroyed in I think every universe.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. They're powerful, but
Not on any other scale.
yeah, it's like they're fighting against humans with guns. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, so who do you think is more powerful, the Megatron or Optimus Prime? Because
with or without movie armor plot.
I mean, without.
If we're going based off film, Megatron.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just seems like Optimus was really always getting bailed out.
Yeah.
Literally in every movie.
Yeah.
I think the second or third. You remember Sentinel Prime? He was like the fire truck. He was the one that killed Ironhide.
No.
Yeah, it was a situation where I think it was at the end of. It had to be the end of the second or third. I can't remember exactly. I think it was a battle in Chicago or something. But I think Optimus was on about to die to Sentinel, and Megatron ended up saving him. Did you watch all? Where did you stop? Because I don't know. Something tells me you didn't watch them all.
I stopped. I remember. Man, I feel like I probably have only seen. I feel like I've seen them all. I remember seeing Mark Wahlberg. I remember thinking
Last night.
Shia LaBeouf isn't here anymore. Like, what's up with this? But if I'm being honest, I've probably only watched Transformers more than once. Like the others, I probably was like I went and that was it. I was never like
thought of it again.
Yeah.
So did you watch the one with when they like replicated Megatron with like the science, the nano, and they made the beats, and then the main villain was a Lamborghini?
Nah. I got some work to do. I don't remember.
I think you should watch that one.
Yeah.
That was a solid one.
Which one is that? That 2 or 3?
That's might be the 4th or 5th.
Oh. Okay. Then I'm out.
See, that's everybody's.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoyed it, man. It was a great series.
Yeah. Man, what would you want to live in the world of Transformers?
Absolutely not. Nope, there's too much going on. I feel like we saved the city, and it's all done. It looked like the Avengers just came through here.
Mm-hmm. We're rebuilding everything, and
Dude,
here it comes. Man, what do you think is because obviously it's just an action-packed movie.
yeah.
You get your popcorn, and it's like a fun thing. But man, what are the underlining meanings or messages you think Michael Bay is trying to communicate?
Pretty much circles back to Sam and Optimus with more than meets the eye. I forgot the other quote that they were saying in the movie.
Oh, there was one I did.
Because the dad also said it.
No sacrifice, no victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one.
That's probably like the most. That was the other one that stood out.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. There's some things you're going to have to sacrifice. It's kind of like a take the risk or lose the chance type of deal.
Yeah.
You got to take that risk
Mm-hmm.
to, accomplish whatever you're going for. Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you see that all throughout. When Bumblebee fights, has the first fight scene, and he pulls around, and Sam and Michaela are seeing it unfold, and they're fighting a little small thing. That guy was hilarious.
Mhm.
And they're like, he's like, get in the car, and he's like, and Sam tells her, he's like, hey, do you want to like look back and be like, I took a chance, I took a risk, I got in the car, and yeah, that theme comes back over and over. And so, man, what in your life right now do you kind of see that theme playing out? Like, no sacrifice, no victory. What are you giving up to obtain right now? What are kind of some goals that you have? Some things you want to work on?
I've recently been doing a lot of research, but just a lot of people filming themselves. So pretty much like vlogging.
Yeah,
It's over the past couple of years. A lot of people would say, "Hey, you would be a great vlogger."
yeah,
But in my head, I'm like, I stay to myself. I don't really
yeah,
do a lot for me to vlog. Like my life's not that entertaining.
yeah,
So recently we've dabbled in that and took that leap and have started vlogging.
yeah,
Haven't like published anything of that matter.
yeah,
But over the past year, I've done a lot of filming, but not in like a, hey, this is me, this is my life type of way. But I've recently started doing it that way.
yeah,
Don't know where it's gonna take me, but I can at least say I've tried.
yeah,
And I don't know what I want the goal to be at the end, but I'm documenting my life as
yeah.
time has gone on, and I'm excited to see where it'll take me at least.
Yeah. Who knows, man? You might be. Your great grandfather might have been in a. Might have seen some. You never know, man.
Not my great grandfather.
You never know, man. Yeah, man. Man, that's cool. Kind of the last couple things. Man, everyone loves Bumblebee. You know,
100%.
he's got his own movie and like all this stuff. So I guess it's kind of twofold. What makes Bumblebee such a loving character, and also, if you feel like there's another Autobot that you wish could have got more screen time, their own movie, who would it be?
I think Bumblebee's appeal is him kind of being that young kid of the group.
Yeah,
He gives
like
off,
Sam.
yeah. That's why they bond. They mesh so well.
Yeah.
I think Bumblebee he has that kid, that inner kid in him still,
Yeah.
and it's seen throughout literally every movie.
Mhm.
He also has that comedy
Yeah.
with the juke. Like he doesn't get his voice box
Yeah.
until I think the second movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you're just hearing him based off of radio stations
Yeah.
throughout the movie, and that's his form of communicating.
Yeah.
Another Autobot that I wish would get screen time.
A
Ooh.
little spinoff.
Leave it to me and I'll say Optimus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Optimus seems like he was the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much more screen time you can get of him. If I had to choose someone outside of Optimus, I'd probably,
You know who.
who are you thinking?
Come on, if the answer ain't Jazz, man, I don't want to hear it.
Bro, I love Jazz, but that one was already written, man. I'd probably go with like, I don't even know if it was an Autobot at the time. But do you remember like the monster truck in any of the films?
I gotta see it.
It was like this little monster truck. I think it started off at Decepticon, but ended up,
Yeah, I do.
it was in Revenge of the Fallen. Because he was like missing an eye because Michaela grabbed his eye when he was in like the mechanic shop.
Yeah,
He was a funny guy.
Toys, yeah.
Because what I'm like thinking of is only like
This guy.
yeah. That was a funny dude. Yeah, if I think screen time, I'm thinking more of like a comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear
And I think he would be the perfect one.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, last two questions. Man, as a whole, underrated, perfectly rated, or overrated? Think people talk about it enough? Do you think it has fallen on deaf ears? What do you think? How's it aged?
I think it did its purpose. I think in the year 2025, people still quote it, talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's overrated. I don't think it's underrated.
Yeah.
There was a trend a couple years ago where like people would end their videos with the Linkin Park directed by Michael Bay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that it'll be a video.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I know Linkin Park was big already at the
Mhm.
time of this release,
Yeah.
but I've heard a lot of people associate Linkin Park with the Michael Bay or
Yeah.
just Transformers movies. What's the song? What I've Done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the song?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. They'll hear me. I'll hear the song and I'm like, oh, that's Transformers.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Do you wish they would stop and like cut it off for a little bit? Because I know they just came out with Transformers 1 recently.
Something like that.
Like an animated
Yeah.
kind of story of Optimus and Megatron as kids.
I still need to watch it.
Yeah. As a fan, do you wish they would stop, or do you like, hey, like the more the merrier?
It's cool. I mean, it's a different approach from what people are used to with like Michael Bay's version of the films.
Yeah.
I still need to see it.
Yeah.
I forgot there was another movie it was battling with at the time of its release, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Well, it did well,
Yeah.
like really well. People like it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's good for them.
Yeah. I mean, if it's as long as they don't pull up Fast and Furious and just
Yeah.
keep milking it,
Yeah.
but I don't see why they should stop.
Yeah. I hear you. Man, closing thoughts, man. What do you got to tell the people about, man? Just this movie that means a lot to you.
Finish the series. That's all I can say. I mean, the first one is iconic, of course. Second one, I feel like people just think the series decreased and lost its value as it went on.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard for a movie of that caliber to maintain such a high level as it did when all the characters were dropping like flies.
So with with all things considered, the circumstances they were given, they still did pretty good.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I think everyone should at least finish the series. I didn't finish Fast and Furious. I think I stopped about 6 or 7,
Yeah.
but I don't even know what number they're on now.
I think 11.
See,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Because Paul died in 6.
We lost the plot.
Yeah.
The plot was over here and
Yeah.
y'all went over here.
Yeah.
I lost interest when I seen they were in space. This was about, racing and something going on there. But yeah, I think you should finish the series. It's cool.
Yeah.
They stopped it, I think, at a pretty good stopping point. So yeah.
We all heard it here first. Go stop what you're doing right now. Finish Transformers, and justice for Michaela Megan Fox. I don't think she's a good actress, but hey, she was in it. She served the role. Shout out Shia LaBeouf. Shout out Tyrese. Shout out Anthony Anderson. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac, Uncle Bernie. And thank you guys. We will see you guys next week on Box Office Buddies. Peace.